I've always been a curious person, constantly seeking new adventures and experiences. One day, while browsing the internet, I stumbled upon a website called Craigslist. It was a platform where people could buy and sell various items, but it also had a section for unique services and opportunities. Intrigued by what I might find, I clicked on the Services tab and began scrolling through the listings. That's when I stumbled upon something that sent a chill down my spine. It was an advertisement titled "Unforgettable Night, Dare to Experience True Fear." Curiosity got the better of me, and against my better judgment, I clicked on the ad. The description was cryptic, promising an intense and terrifying experience like no other. It mentioned a hidden location deep within the woods, where participants would be subjected to a night of unimaginable horror. Without thinking, I contacted the person behind the ad, using a pseudonym to protect my identity. Within minutes, I received a response with detailed instructions and a warning. Once you commit, there's no turning back. As the appointed night approached, I couldn't shake the feeling of unease that had settled deep within me. I questioned my decision, but couldn't resist the allure of the unknown. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, I set off towards the designated meeting point. The sun had long set, casting an eerie darkness over the surrounding forest when I arrived. The air was heavy with anticipation, and a sense of foreboding hung in the atmosphere. I couldn't help but wonder what awaited me in the depths of those woods. Following the instructions, I found a narrow, overgrown trail leading further into the wilderness. Each step I took sent shivers down my spine, as if the very forest itself was warning me to turn back. But I pressed on, my heart pounding in my chest. As I ventured deeper into the woods, the silence became deafening. The chirping of crickets and rustling leaves were the only sounds that accompanied my every move. Suddenly, a flickering light caught my attention up ahead, drawing me closer like a moth to a flame. What I saw next made my blood run cold. In a small clearing, a circle of candles illuminated a makeshift stage. Figures dressed in tattered robes stood motionless, their faces hidden beneath hoods. The scene was straight out of a horror movie, and a wave of terror washed over me. Before I could react, the figures turned towards me in unison, their eyes piercing through the darkness. A voice echoed through the night, sending chills down my spine. "Welcome, seeker of fear. Prepare yourself for a night you will never forget." My heart raced as I stood frozen in fear, surrounded by the mysterious figures. The air grew colder, and a sense of impending doom washed over me. I had stepped into something far more sinister than I had ever imagined. The figures began to move, slowly encircling me with deliberate, calculated steps. Their eyes glowed with an otherworldly intensity, and their whispers echoed through the night, sending shivers down my spine. I felt trapped, like a prey ensnared in a predator's snare. Suddenly, the circle of figures parted, revealing a path leading deeper into the woods. It was a path I had no choice but to follow, driven by a morbid curiosity mixed with a desperate hope of survival. The path twisted and turned, the gnarled branches overhead casting eerie shadows on the forest floor. The faint sound of rustling leaves and distant whispers filled the air, amplifying the terror that had settled within me. As I ventured deeper, I stumbled upon a dilapidated cabin, barely standing against the test of time. Its windows were shattered, and the door creaked ominously, beckoning me to enter. Against my better judgment, I stepped inside, the musty smell of decay assaulting my senses. The interior was a macabre sight. Dark stains marred the walls, and tattered remnants of clothing lay strewn across the floor. It was a place of unspeakable horrors, a testament to the atrocities that had unfolded within its walls. In the center of the room stood a decrepit table, adorned with a collection of sinister objects. Rusty knives, dried blood, and occult symbols littered the surface. It was a tableau of malevolence, a chilling testament to the darkness that permeated the cabin. A sudden noise behind me made me spin around, my heart pounding in my chest. There, standing in the doorway, was a figure dressed in all black. Their face was obscured by a mask, and in their hand, they held a wickedly sharp knife. Fear gripped me, paralyzing my every movement. The figure slowly advanced, their footsteps echoing through the desolate cabin. Panic surged within me, urging me to flee, but my legs felt like lead, rooted to the spot. With a swift motion, the figure lunged at me. I managed to dodge their attack, narrowly avoiding the gleaming blade. Adrenaline coursed through my veins as I fought to escape, desperately searching for an exit. I sprinted through the cabin, my heart pounding in my ears. The figure pursued me relentlessly, their presence a haunting specter at my back. I burst through the shattered doorway, racing back into the depths of the forest. The pursuit continued, the figure's menacing silhouette closing in with every passing moment. Panic and exhaustion threatened to consume me as I stumbled through the underbrush, my mind racing for a way out. Just when all hope seemed lost, I caught sight of a faint glow in the distance. With renewed determination, I pushed through the pain and exhaustion, my legs carrying me towards the flickering light. As I emerged from the dense foliage, I found myself in a small clearing. In its center stood a lone figure, bathed in an ethereal glow. They raised their hand, beckoning me forward with an eerie smile. Relief and confusion warred within me as I cautiously approached the figure. They extended their hand, offering me a small, ancient-looking key. "Congratulations," they whispered, their voice an unsettling mixture of triumph and malice. "You have survived the first trial, but the night is not over. The true horror awaits." My mind reeled with a mixture of fear, curiosity, and a growing sense of dread. I took the key from the figure's outstretched hand, its weight heavy with ominous implications. The figure gestured towards a path that led deeper into the forest, their eyes gleaming with an unsettling intensity. With a deep breath, I pressed on, the key clenched tightly in my hand. The woods grew denser, the twisted branches reaching out like skeletal fingers, as if trying to ensnare me within their grasp. The air grew heavy with an oppressive silence, broken only by the distant hooting of an owl. As I walked, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Shadows danced at the corner of my vision, and whispers echoed through the trees. The forest seemed alive, teeming with an unseen presence that sent shivers down my spine. Eventually, I arrived at a clearing bathed in an eerie moonlight. In the center stood an old, decrepit house, its windows boarded up and its walls covered in ivy. It was a place forgotten by time, a relic of darkness. I approached the house cautiously, the creaking of the floorboards beneath my feet breaking the silence. I knew that stepping inside would unleash a new wave of horrors, but I couldn't resist the pull of the unknown. Pushing open the creaky door, I stepped into a realm of nightmares. The air was thick with dust, and the scent of decay hung heavy in every room. The walls were adorned with faded photographs, their subjects frozen in haunting poses. As I ventured further into the house, I stumbled upon a room that seemed frozen in time. A child's bedroom, untouched by the passage of years. Toys lay scattered across the floor, their once vibrant colors faded with age. I had come too far to retreat from the unknown. Summoning my courage, I nodded in response to the figure's question. It raised its hand, and the walls of the chamber began to shift. Reality itself seemed to warp and bend, forming a new environment around me. When the transformation settled, I found myself standing on the edge of a desolate cliff. The wind howled, carrying with it the bone-chilling cold that seeped into my very core. Below, an abyss stretched endlessly, its depths shrouded in darkness. As I peered into the void, a flicker of movement caught my attention. A shadowy figure emerged from the depths, slowly ascending towards me. Dread washed over me as I recognized the twisted features of a face I had hoped never to see again. It was a reflection of my own deepest fears, a manifestation of the nightmares that haunted my subconscious. Its eyes gleamed with malevolence, and its voice echoed with a mocking tone. "You thought you could escape me," the figure hissed, its voice a chilling whisper. "But I am a part of you, forever etched into your soul. Face me, and you shall face the darkest corners of your own mind." Terror gripped me, threatening to paralyze my every move, but I couldn't allow fear to consume me. I had to confront my deepest fears head-on, no matter the cost. Summoning every ounce of courage, I stepped forward, inching closer to the shadowy figure. Its presence grew more suffocating with each step, the weight of my fears pressing down upon me. As I stood face to face with my darkest reflection, a battle began within me. Memories of past traumas and insecurities flooded my mind, threatening to engulf me in their suffocating grip. But I refused to surrender. I fought back. casting aside self-doubt and embracing the strength within me. In that pivotal moment, I realized that true fear could only hold power over me if I allowed it to. With each passing moment, the figure's power waned. Its form began to fade, dissipating like smoke in the wind. And as it vanished completely, a sense of liberation washed over me. I had conquered my deepest fears, emerging from the harrowing journey with newfound strength and resilience. The trials of Craigslist had tested me in unimaginable ways, but I had survived. As I stood on the precipice of the cliff, the world around me returned to its normal state. The figure, the chamber, the abyss, all faded into the ether. I was left standing in the silence of my own triumph. With a final glance back at the path I had traveled, I turned away, leaving the horrors of Craigslist behind me. The experience had forever changed me, a reminder of the darkness that lurks beneath the surface of ordinary life. But I emerged from the ordeal with a renewed appreciation for the light, a deeper understanding of the strength that dwells within us all. And as I walked away, I vowed to never again seek out the twisted mysteries that lie hidden in the depths of the internet. Thank you for watching Whispering Tales TV. So don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and join our community of fellow thrill seekers. Get ready for spine-tingling stories that will keep you up at night. Let the Whispering Tales begin.